This is Matt from Chez Pascal in the Wurst kitchen, and today we're on the road. We're with Diana Kushner, a longtime friend and farmer, Arcadian fields, and we're talking rhubarb, and hopefully we're listening to owls. I do want to mention that Diana, you were the first farmer when I moved to Rhode Island and we opened Chez Pascal. We went to the Hope Street Farmers Market. It was probably, let's see, we opened in March, April, May, maybe June or May, and you were the first person that I met and bought stuff from locally, and we've had a relationship ever since. And again, I always talk about how important it is to know your farmers. They become friends. We all share the same love for food. So that's why we're here. We're here talking about rhubarb, which I feel like I've never met anyone who actually says, hey, I'm gonna plant rhubarb this year. So my first question is how, did you plant this here? Was it something that was here and you've taken care of all these years?
Well, the first rhubarb I got was from a library sale. So I planted some plants and I liked it. And then I got some more plants from Earth Care Farm and I brought them. It takes about 3 years for them to start being ready for harvesting. And after about 3 years, I was like, I don't have enough. So I got more rhubarb. And after about 3 years, I was like, I don't have enough, so I got more. So I went from 1 row to 2. Now we have 5 rows. 5 rows. Yeah.
So as far as rhubarb, is it something that obviously someone has to start from seed, but is it difficult to do? From seed. No. How is it?
You get a plant. So those plants are really big. So if you took a shovel and we hacked off a chunk, I could just hack off a chunk right now, give it to you. You could go home and plant it. And in a few years, you'll be eating rhubarb.
Okay, so that's how it's, basically then it's passed on from person to person.
Exactly.
So somewhere it started and then it's just been spread, which is pretty amazing. Because I know, like, we were saying on the way down that, and I don't want to insult you, but I only know of grandparents who have rhubarb. My grandma had rhubarb, and Canadians. So it definitely likes, my grandparents lived in Rhode Island. Kristen's grandfather, she remembers stories of him eating rhubarb, and they're in Massachusetts. So it's definitely, it prefers colder climates. Do you grow it in the South? Do Southern people?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of plant that if you plant it and you plant it well and you keep the weeds away from it and have a really good bed of it, it can last generations.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to use it because, again, for us seasonally, it's some of the first new things we see. Other than all the root crops we've been using in the fall and the winter, all of a sudden we start to see asparagus, and then it's rhubarb. I make a compote with it, but you had said, what did you make with it when I was asking you?
Oh, you asked me what I did with the rhubarb.
Yeah.
I made a pie once that turned out terrible.
Right.
Like the crust, the pie was great. The crust was really nasty. So we scooped up the inside, and then we had Indian food, and we used it as a chutney. And it worked out really well.
So that was the inspiration of the recipe that I'm going to try to create when we take the rhubarb back to the roof, is that I want to try to make a chutney, because I've always only made compotes. So that's just sugar, rhubarb, and lemon. We put them in crisps. We'll eventually put them with strawberries. But I've said, well, let me give this a shot. And I'm pretty happy with the way it came out, because now we have another use of rhubarb. We're using it with a cheese plate right now.
Oh, wow.
But so I guess I really want to get into the way you harvest it, because the rhubarb that you bring us is gigantic, and which is great because it's easy for us to process. But also I notice its colors are different. There'll sometimes be ones that are pinkish, almost red-like, and then there's ones that are green. And I was wondering, is there different varieties that make it that way, or is it just the way the plant grows? As far as coloration on the stalks.
Okay, lots of questions there.
Yes.
Color. I think it might have to do with how much sunlight is getting into the plant, but the color doesn't actually affect how it tastes. They all taste the same. Thickness. If you have healthy plants, and especially at the beginning of the season, you're going to get thick stalks. If you have unhealthy plants, they're going to be spindly, so thick is good. Rhubarb is a pretty easy crop to grow. You have to give it a lot of fertility, likes lots of compost, likes good organic fertilizer. It doesn't like a lot of competition from weeds, and doesn't have any predators that I know about. Deer don't like it. There's no insects that I know that eat it.
When does it really start to come alive in the garden? Like March, early March, do you start noticing it, or it's
This will be our 3rd week harvesting it, and today's May 17th. So beginning of May, we start harvesting it. And the harvest goes for about a month, maybe a month and a half sometimes. We get our best rhubarb at the beginning of the season, and at the end it kind of fizzles. You don't ever want to take all the stalks off because it's a perennial. So if you took all the stalks, there'd be nothing left to feed the roots.
And then once it's, I mean, do you have to, we'll see what looks to be a flower of some sort. That's important in its growth?
You want to get rid of the flowers.
You do?
Yeah, the plants.
Oh, see, I would leave them. So I'm glad.
The plant's goal is to make flowers, reproduce. Okay. If it makes a flower, it's like, I'm done. I'm having babies. No, get rid of the babies. It's going to keep trying to make more.
All right, okay. Let's go get some babies.
Okay, so how you harvest rhubarb. Yeah. You choose your big stalks.
Okay, I'm going to choose it based on leaf size because I want a giant leaf.
Okay, so anyways, you have to use both hands because you don't want the stalk to snap. Okay. And you reach in right to the very bottom.
The broken ones you send to other restaurants, right?
Just pull really hard.
All right, let me see.
And you get your stalk. So just find the ones you want.
I want this one.
And start pulling.
And you just.
So as long as they're. Did you get it or did you break it?
Well.
You got it.
Well, I broke it, but I'm taking this.
No, that's beautiful.
I broke it.
Oh, you broke it.
I'm fired.
Okay, we'll try again.
Yeah, but I'm going to take this. We're taking these back to work.
You are. We're getting all of these.
Okay, I'm going to go for. I think it's the size of the leaf.
To get, so.
Yeah,
so.
I sneak in.
Two right at the base.
Okay, shh. Really quiet. There we go.
Awesome.
That's all I want. It's the leaf.
Keep going.
Right. I got to keep going.
Get a lot of these, yeah.
So we want big ones because that's what we like. And I don't have to worry about taking too much from the center.
No, I'm taking good ones here. Oh my God, Matt, come down here.
All right.
There's some amazing ones.
I like this one on it right here.
I'll grab it. That is gorgeous. Oh my God.
And then we need to talk about what to do with the leaves.
They're nice and red. They're beautiful. Just perfect. So the leaves are toxic.
So that means what? We shouldn't
eat the leaves. This is why you never see the leaves at the store. This is why farmers don't bring the leaves to market. We don't people to die. So, oh my God, I need 2 hands for this one.
Move over.
Move over, please.
Move over. Well, I suck.
Yeah, it takes Steve.
That's not what you want, people. Steve, not good.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna go bring these back because we're gonna be chopping.
So where else do we find lots of rhubarb?
Canada. Everywhere. Every garden. Everybody has a little patch of rhubarb in their backyard.
Really?
Yes. And so I was. So that's why you're like. I couldn't believe Diana was selling this stuff at market. It was like. What?
You're like, no. You tried to bring it back to Canada.
Yeah. The other place.
I see what we're all about. Wait. See, now I would go for this one.
Oh,
I can't.
It's a beauty.
Oh man.
See, there you go, man. I should have let you do that.
I know.
You can still pick that.
Yeah, you can pick that.
Yeah,
I'm sure. No. You guys are professionals.
Steve's a professional.
I'm
Usually, Steve does.
Oh, that's a good one. Right here.
There you go.
I chop the leaves.
Go, Matt.
2 hands. Oh, look at that.
I got lucky.
Awesome.
Lucky.
Now, how important are the leaves to the health of the plant? Because to me, that is abnormally large. But that must mean these plants are super healthy.
I think the large leaves and the large stalks shows that these are really healthy plants.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And I'm going to tell you about how I plant rhubarb. So, rhubarb is a big plant, so it needs a lot of space. So if you're going to get a rhubarb plant, you need at least 1 meter squared, for each plant.
What's a meter?
It's like a yard, but it's
What's
Canadian.
A yard? Canadian. So we'd say about 3 feet.
Exactly.
And but that's probably like.
Yeah, you don't want to crowd your rhubarb.
And do they require a lot of water? Or they're pretty
a regular amount? Yeah. Yeah, this is the best part. Usually Steve has to do the
harvesting.
Do the harvesting, and I just hang out
and you do the cutting.
Do the cutting, yeah. So, which
And then you put all the leaves go where? Just into the compost.
These leaves go right into the compost. So.
I make a fan if it's hot. Does Steve sit here and do this?
I know, seriously. Right? Oh my God, that's what you have to do.
That's my job.
Actually.
Yeah. I'll get a discount on my.
This one's kind of funky.
My rhubarb today, right?
I don't know.
A fanning discount.
You're gonna have to pay extra.
Yeah. Nice. That's great, because this is what we're going to take back. Some of this we're going to cook on the roof today. Oh yeah, we're going to make chutney with all this rhubarb. Not all of it, because this is going to be a lot, 20 pounds, but some of it's going into our chutney pot.
You know, the other great thing to do with rhubarb
Fan the farmer?
No. You just cook it up with some ginger, tiny bit of sugar, and then in the middle of the winter, when it's free, you just get out a jar and eat it.
That's one thing I found about you, Diana, is that you're good about saving all the food that you grow so you can eat it yourself.
We do a lot of that.
Which is smart.
We eat a lot of what's in season, so right now we're eating a lot of chives, sorrel, and mint. So yeah. I want to clarify something for the camera. When Matt was introducing us, he says that we've had a relationship for 20 plus years. I want to clarify that it's a
working relationship. Yeah. I just sprung that on Kristen. Sorry, Kristen. Even though we've been married for 20 years, I've been relationshiping with Diana for 20 years as well. So I'm glad. And Steve, I thought he gasped when I said that. So I'm glad that's been clarified.
Now I'm as red as the rhubarb.
So how much do you think out of these patches through, let's say, the month of harvesting? A couple 100 pounds?
Probably.
Did like 90 pounds last week.
Wow, 90 pounds. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad people are using rhubarb.
Yeah, I mean, these people love rhubarb. I mean, it's like, oh my God, so many good pies.
And it does freeze well, processed. You couldn't freeze it this way.
Yeah, you know what?
Freeze it?
Yeah, you just cut it into squares, stick it in the freezer.
Say we have harvested, that really refers to Diana and Steve. But this is now going to go back to the restaurant, and we're going to start processing the rhubarb. We're going to try to make a few different dishes with it and see what we can come up with. And I'm very grateful for Diana and Steve for letting us come down here, break a few stalks, pick a few stalks. I don't know, it's been a great morning.
Well, it's been great for us. Thanks for coming.
You bet. And that's it.